Wall Street Memes Casino,
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.
This is Colm McGuigan for IFL TV. Delighted to be joined by the Hammer himself. We're finally here in Orlando. Padraig McCrory. Paddy, it's finally came, mate. We're finally here. Just how does it feel, first of all?
Yeah, listen, we came on Monday, and it's a great experience just to see that and know that I took my team and myself to Florida from the Devonish, from the Falls Road. It's a very special feeling.
Obviously, Eddie Hearn was pressed about this fight so many times, and eventually he finally made the fight. Did you always believe that you would face Edgar Berlanga in the lead up to this, when you were hearing the rumours, when you were hearing the talk of it happening?
Maybe not, because in June I was offered the fight and I thought it was close to being done, and it didn't go that way. So I had my doubts, but when Matchroom were in Belfast in December, I was shouting at Eddie, "Get me the fight." I kind of knew that it was really close. So yeah, it's a fight that I've been looking for, and maybe not it's not just Berlanga. It's the profile of the fight. It's the magnitude of the fight, and it's the platform that it's going to give me. So I was over the moon now that it's done, and now we're here in Florida. There's no turning back.
Let's bring it right back to the beginning of your career, Paddy. Came a long way. You chinned me in a Gaelic match. You'll deny it ever happened, but you chinned me, and I'll never forget that moment of actually knowing who you were and then seeing you come onto the scene and you were fighting, and I was thinking, geez, I remember he chinned me. And then we finally ended up becoming friends. But in terms of how this all came about in the beginning, you were running around playing Gaelic for O'Donnell's and stuff. Did you ever envisage your career going this way, when you obviously coming out of a kind of amateur career where you said yourself you were a bit disappointed how it ended? Did you ever envisage these big moments?
I didn't, and people say if you see it it's going to happen, but I never seen this before. I see me fighting maybe for an Irish title in the local bar, which is the Devonish, and I fought there before, and I fought there for next to nothing on a number of times. So I never seen this coming, but as my career went over the last 7 years, I started to believe in myself. I started to know that I can achieve more. And a big part of that was becoming a father 6 years ago, and now I'm a father of 3, and that's a big motivation for me. I think my amateur career probably didn't go as well because of my lack of dedication, but now my life has flipped. I'm happily married man, and I know I can change our lives from boxing.
Let's go first of all to the Devonish. You had one of the most emphatic knockouts I've ever seen. Lennox Lewis shared it at the time. Yeah. Do you remember whenever he shared that and he spoke about it, did that give you a bit of extra motivation to think, oh, I might be onto something? I know you're only fighting in the Devonish at that point, but obviously there's greater things and bigger things lined up for you at that stage.
No, it actually didn't, because I just thought like it was just a punch that I landed and I kind of got lucky. But when Lewis he shared it and wrote about timing and stuff, it was massive for me, because at the time, or even now, I'm a massive Lewis fan. Like I watched him fight Tyson, I watched him fight so many great fighters, and he was world champion. And to see him share that, I was like, wow, that's amazing. And then I actually went a couple of fights then without knocking people out, but I went on a great run against step up sort of opponents and started knocking people out.
I obviously have seen you in close quarters, and I think the first one comes to mind is the Celso Neves knockout, which was just absolutely incredible. At that moment, whenever you've knocked him out and you're kind of working your way in this pro game and under the guidance of Conor Boxing and Mick and Jamie on your side and things, did you think at that point that, like, I can give this one last go? I'm not being funny, but you're no spring chicken. You're towards the tail end of your career. But obviously, did that give you extra motivation to say, you know what, I actually might be onto something here? Because at that stage, he was a European. Was he a European champ, or he was in the mix for it?
No, he was ranked highly, because I think he was Norwegian champion or Swedish champion or something along those lines. And he had a decent record. I think he was 8-1 with a draw. Good fighter, good hand speed, and he went on to fight some decent fighters. He fought Felix Kais and stuff. So, but at the time then, when I knocked him out, I was co-main event in the Ulster Hall, which is a great venue, and it was slightly before that as well. I started to think and know that that I'm on to something, because I beat a decent Russian just before that, and then it led to sort of like the Pierre Ballman was when I really started to like know that because Pierre Ballman had fought at the highest levels, I started to know and think that I can push for like bigger and better.
Pierbam was a great win, but fast forward to that, to Frankfurt, and a moment that'll live with me for the rest of my life, and anyone that was there. Probably my best night in boxing for you, and that moment when you took Leon Bunn out of there. The crowd was in Frankfurt, but was 80% Padraig McCrory fans. Just talk to me about that feeling in the ring when you eventually won that and you won the IBO world title.
Yeah, it's very hard to like describe, because when he went down and I went to the corner and I knew he was hurt and I knew he was based up, and I looked over his corner and they were thinking about throwing the towel in. And as much as it's a sport that I'll do anything to win, I knew that he couldn't take like much more of that, and it's not good for your career or for your life. So I was screaming at them and throw the towel in, throw the fucking towel in. And he looked and he seen like that I was ready to go, and he threw the towel in, and it was like elation. Because I looked and I seen my friends and family and crowd just go mental, and it was like a buzz through the body. I literally, the only time I've ever did it, mounted the ring post and just went insane. And then Jamie, Colm and Colm and then the rest of the team all just landed in the ring, and it was a great feeling.
In terms of Jamie, Mick, and being part of Conlon boxing, for you, Paddy, is it good to have these guys who have been there, done it, wore the t-shirt, giving you that kind of confidence that they're managing your career in a way that now it's maybe got you to manage? You've started hammer boxing yourself, you've got your own fighters. Does that give you a bit of extra motivation as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like I've been working with Jamie for like a long time, and he like I've got massive opportunity like from that. But at the very start, it was kind of like we'll see where it goes with them, you know, and it was up to me to take that opportunity as well. But them guys have great links now. Obviously, like the recent sort of link with matchroom boxing and stuff is only going to like benefit. I think their whole stable. But I also believe that they know that I'm in with a serious chance here at the weekend, because they're both family men and they wouldn't be here if they didn't. Mick's flew over here, and we've spoke, and we firmly believe that we can get that done. Hammer boxing, the link with Colm boxing is going to help like my own fighters, which I have a fighter out on the 30th of March as well.
So, Paddy, let's talk about Eddie's comments, because I've spoke to Eddie at great length on and off camera about you, about the possibility of what's next for Padraig McCrory. He said famously in an interview, which I've seen posted everywhere this week, that if Padraig McCrory wins, he swam the channel and won the lotto in the same night. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, like it gives massive motivation, because he said that, and then he went on to like mention three names who are massive names in the division, like Canelo, and he said McGuigan, Pacheco, and they're all big names. So it made them comments from probably one of the most influential men like in boxing has made this a real opportunity. Like it's made camp so much easier. It's made like what I'm doing, getting out of bed in the morning, so much more real that I can change my life.
We will talk again this week, probably on Friday. I'll give you a day off tomorrow. But let's just talk for a moment about what happens to Edgar Berlanga on Saturday night.
Yeah, I firmly believe that I'm going to win this fight. It's labelled shootout because me and him have the potential to put each other to sleep. But I have never been down, and I've been working with Shawnee Conley, who is a main coach, and give me loads of tips and loads of techniques. And I visualised how this fight's going to end, and in my head, I feel like I'm going to knock him out.
If you do win this fight, Paddy, it changes your family's lives. How important is it, your three kids and your wife watching from home? I know your wife's going to be here, but your kids, how important is it for you that you come through this fight, you get that win, and you change your whole family's life?
Yeah, like for me as a man, it's extremely important. But as a family, we don't need to be in boxing. My wife, she's very successful. She's a biomedical scientist. We have owned our own home now like for 10 years, so there's no pressure like for me to do this. So it's a win-win. I'm coming here with zero pressure. Like I am literally showing up here to shock the world. And if I don't, no one expects it. But they're all going to be shocked very soon.
Just a final one, just to the hundreds of fans coming from St James's, coming from Belfast, coming from all over. Rory Dalton coming down from New York. Just talk to me a little bit about those fans and what it means to you to have everyone here in Orlando.
Yeah, listen, I'm still getting messages now of people looking tickets, local Americans, and getting messages daily of people from Florida that are supporting me. It's again, like, it's insane. Like I'm blown away by that because people from my area, from my community, like where I grew up, probably don't have like hundreds of pounds like to spend money to come here. And there would have been so much more, but for different reasons they just couldn't come. But they're spending like their hard-earned money. They're using their leave and work, everything, and it's surreal that they're like doing that for me, and I gotta pay them back.
Padraig McCrory, just one final message for Edgar Berlanga. Look down that camera and tell him what happens on Saturday night.
Edgar, I feel like you picked the wrong man, and I feel like I'm going to beat you.
Padraig McCrory, IFL TV.
Wall Street Memes Casino
I'm fine.
and Sportsbook.